Hello, I'm Tommy Moore from the Bartitsu Lab, and in this video we're going to look at some World War II inspired combatives kicks help set up combinations or attacks with the hands. Now obviously for art since the dawn of time, attack low, attack high, attack high, attack low, feint high, attack low, working off two lines has always been hugely important. Massively important. If you consider that a lot of people in those theatres for World War II combatives wearing big chunky ass boots, then there are some heavy values to those kicks, but they need to be considered in context. If you fall down with a Bergen, a rifle, shovel, all your gear, you're going to clang, you're going to make a lot of noise, it's going to be hard for you to get back up easily, and in that period someone's probably kicking or hacking you to fuck. So if you are going to kick, you need to kick with purpose, you need to kick in frequently, and you need to have an understanding of how that kick leads to more conducive or more effective hand blows, grapples or weapon deployment. You know, you're kicking to enable, really. Kicking to disable tends to happen when people are on the floor. When people are standing up in these systems, kicking is to enable something else to be much more effective. So we're just going to look at some of the signature blows, and I'm going to fiddle with the camera just a little bit here so you can see. Okay. So the first signature one we're going to look at is being able to fire an edge of heel kick. So we're using a side kick essentially. So the body turns off at 45 from the threat. It's very hard to do front on. There are other kicks for that. But if we're just off centre, or we turn ourselves just off centre, and we essentially raise our knee just a little without being telegraphic, and then we smash down with the heel typically on the kneecap from here. From here. So again, this is relatively long range as combatives goes. So I've turned just a little, smash that in. Once that's hit, as I step, it's the edge of hand blow which is going towards the throat. In this instance, I want it to hit him in the trachea. So from here, the hit and the step, as soon as the step happens, it acts as a drop step for me to fire that edge of hand blow. And it's allowed me to enter space. It's harder with a bob because he's got a solid round bottom. Because this is an XL bob, it's a really large base. But I'm trying to make it visible for you on the camera. So if the threat's happened, whether you're doing a surprise attack or he's rushing on, bang, you're hitting with that side kick. As you step in, you're crushing him with the edge of hand blow. And then finally, to compress the range, we then move into a chin jab from here. And again, like all things with the chin jab, works well with an attachment, driving your body weight in. Once you've hit percussively, then you can roll the fingers over into the eyes, drive them back or rake them out. Either way, so from the side, straight in. Bang, bang, bang. A nice simple flow which starts with that solid side kick here. Bang, solid side kick, smash him with the edge of hand blow, all the momentum is now flowing into him, chin jab, straight into his chin. Then we're looking at other things, so we go for a front kick, what's sometimes known as a spike kick, and this can go under the knee, or it can go straight into the bollocks. And again, people have different opinions on how to do this. Some like to chamber the knee somewhat and then fire. Others like to hoof it straight up like they're booting a football. There are pros and cons to both, so experiment with both. So in this instance, we're going to hoof the kick right to the groin. As I step down, I use that as my drop step for the edge of hand blow to the collarbone, and then secondly to the windpipe. So we're going nice and simple. So from the front, we're kicking to the groin, drop stepping with that edge of hand blow, boom, so the maximum weight is coming down with it, rechamber just a little to smash out into the throat. Simple combative flow from front on. So previously, bang, bang, bang. Now we're going from the front, bang, bang. bang, bang. Simple ways to use the kicks to enable other stuff. We can also look at how to best kick a downed opponent, but essentially these break down into a number of areas. So if Bob goes down, just for a little while, good night Bob, I'm going to bring Bob over here. Now as he's working round Bob, it's important that kicking a human isn't as intuitive as you think it is. Take some time to practice how this might work. So again, these typically break down into spike-based kicks, using the toe, bang, into the jawbone, bang, into the ribs, bang. So you're using the hard tip of the foot. You've got stomp-orientated approaches, raising the knee and driving the heel down, bang. And this could be on the ribs, on the groin, on the ankle, bang, whatever you're going to do. So you've got spike orientations, stamp orientations, or axe orientations, where you bring the heel this way. And that's a surprisingly common kick for World War II combatives. If you watch the Royal Navy learning World War II combatives, one of the early gutterfighting films, you see them combining and training toe-based kicks, stomp-based kicks, and axe-based kicks. So get used to working your way around an opponent. So if you've got a Bob, this is brilliant. If you've thrown him and his legs are towards you, there are different options. Bear in mind his legs will be trying to wrap me up now. His arms will be trying to grab me, or he'll be trying to get up. So why wait for me to get round to his head? I could immediately smash down on his groin, on his kneecap, on his ankles, and then move my way around. If I throw him more towards the head, I've then got a level of force to understand. Is it a level of force where this is acceptable? Is it more that it's torso orientated? This, or this is acceptable, or none of those are acceptable, and we run off, or we get help, or we do something else. But either way, don't make the first time you rely on kicking someone down to be the first time that you need it. Practice building this in. Build that in. Understand it can be quite taxing on the balance to move around someone and do this stuff, especially if he's trying to grab at your legs. So do invest the time in practicing these types of grounded kicks to opponents. One, start with the Bob so you can do it at full force and anatomically think, right, jawbone, temple, sternum. You can start to think that way around. Then when you come to sparring, you have to be a lot more gentle, but you can have the opponent really try and wrestle and grapple and get hold of your legs, and that might change what you decide to do when you come to kicking down opponents. So again, it sounds like a strange thing to try and drill, but in reality, we see a lot of combatives-based combinations end with kicks on the ground if you don't escape or draw a weapon. That means it's something you need to practice. Everything you must practice. So kicks to a downed opponent, absolutely build that into your repertoire. And then finally, you've got the ultra close range material. So if I'm here with Bob, and we end up in this nasty grapple, again from the sources you see stamp and scrape. So this could be digging into the leg, scraping down the chin onto the foot. So you can stamp directly onto the foot, or you can make the journey down to the foot along the shin nice and painful. And why would you do this? It's not going to cause massive trauma. It's to take his attention down low before I cause trauma up high. So it may well be, might be to allow me to fire in a palm hook, a slap, an elbow, a headbutt, this nasty fucked up grapple. Just takes his attention somewhere else for me to attack on the high line. So again, if you're practicing World War II themed combatives, take the time to investigate how the legs can open up hands and grappling or weapon usage. Take the time to understand what it means to kick a downed opponent and how There are pitfalls for you too, both legally and combatively, so understand that and take the time to drill it and explore it. It's pretty much the end game of most World War II combatives. Hit him, grab him, chuck him down, tap dance on his head. All of those elements need to be drilled individually and together, so make sure you take the time to do that. And in lockdown, if you've got a bob, if you've got a grappling dummy, it's the perfect time to build in with power before you start to move to technique with resistance with an active opponent when the world stops being beleaguered by plague. But in either instance, that's some ways in which kicks are used in vintage historical combatives to open up further opportunities as the can opener to allow you to hit, strangle, grapple, throw, and then apply more final kicks once they're on the deck if you need to. Give it a go.